Hi everyone, it's Dwillis, Kiwi Scrapper from New Zealand. Here to share with you today a project that has caused me endless frustration over the last 3 days, and headaches and to feel miserable. It just didn't flow at all, but I'm pleased with the end result at last. These are just here to stick them here. I just wanted to show you these. These are cabbage dyed. I've tried avocado skin, these, and it came out good, and I was pleased with the vintage paint result. I saw a video on YouTube, and I do apologise, I can't remember who put it up. I've got it saved on my favourites list, so my apologies. I'll put it in the description box at the end. She had dyed with red cabbage, so I tracked down a red cabbage and I dyed some white pieces, and this is what mine came up with after 2 hours before I had to go to work. I just had to take everything out and throw the cabbage water away so that my poor husband didn't come back to a house stinking of cabbage. But it came out a very, very pretty pale lilac, very shabby chic pale lilac. The cream, those were all white pieces. The cream came out blue. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I'm quite happy with that. And I did some lovely stark white appliques, so the appliques came out beautiful lilac. There's a couple more there, because it's hard to get lilac appliques. I mean, it's really pretty. Love it. That's just a piece of lace. So there you go. That's red cabbage dyeing, and that's only after a couple of hours. It might become more intense after a longer period. So this is my frustration project. Here it goes. Anyway, okay, this started life as as some of my wall hanging projects do, as a large piece of hardboard that fits into the back of a photo frame to stop the picture and the glass from falling out. And I get them old ones from op shops and thrift shops, and I just take them out, and I can use the frames sometimes, but it's the backs I'm mainly after. So the first thing I did for this project was I think it's a Kaisercraft paper on, and you'll see, hopefully you'll see that it's got a nice image of a old decorative bird cage, and there was pink roses up here. The rest of it was just a plain dusky pinky colour. I toned the whole paper down once I glued it on. I toned it down with gesso, painted gesso all over it, and then I got a kitchen roll paper and I went over it and rubbed most of the gesso off, just so that it got a sort of an opaque feel to it and dulled all the brightness, which I didn't want. So that was that bit. The next thing I did was I put on this dull antique gold braid. It's quite a heavy braid, so I only put it on the two sides. I thought it would be too heavy if I put it all the way around. And then I put the image on. Now this is a fabric block that I got off eBay a number of years ago, and it's printed on silk because I was putting them onto, I was decorating some old lampshades I had. I didn't use quite a number of them actually, so I've got them on hand, but this is a silk one. Harder to use the silk because you do have to be aware that when you peel the backing off and you put the glue on and you shove the block down to stick it, the glue all leaks through and ruins the image. It doesn't do that on the cotton because it's heavier, but on the silk it does. So I left the backing on. I found that out by experience, unfortunately, when I ruined a very pretty block I had. So I left the backing on this one, and then was quite sparing with my amount of glue. Now this is an image of a beautiful Georgian lady, not Victorian. Georgian period, obviously the three or four King Georges that England had. And this lady comes from the English court of around about 1760, something like that. And she's holding a lovely little wild rose, and quite lovely really, very delicate. The background is a soft bluish grey, and there's sage greens in there. So that's what I took my colourings from. I wanted white to lift it all, no cream, but so then having put her down, the idea was that I gessoed and painted this old metal frame, and the idea was I was going to frame her, and she was going to look absolutely beautiful. But the problem is I couldn't get the frame to stick. I tried four or five times, and it just, every time I came back to it, it was sitting on top, floating around, it come unstuck. So I gave up. That frustrated me, it annoyed me, because you know when you've got something in your mind and you want to go that way, it's really difficult to suddenly change midstream, but that's what I had to do. So I found some very pale shell pink lace, which is gathered. I put one thing around it, and then I thought, no, it's too flat, so then I put a second one underneath the first, so that but brought it out a bit longer so that it was longer than the first one and stood out a bit more. So instead of laying flat on the ground, it kind of like lifts up a bit like a frame. Then on top of that, I put this nice white braid, which is quite decorative, quite delicate but decorative. I think I probably got that off one of the Etsy shops, I imagine. And then I went and dotted around Wild Orchid Craft roses in a white tinged with dusky pink colour. After that, I put this applique lace from top to bottom up that one side. You can just sort of see it there. And on every alternate flower, I put large flatback pearl, and then on the flowers in between, I put large Wild Orchid Craft to match these ones, but larger, white with tinged with pink. So they went on there. Then I came here and I had no idea what I was going to do, but I had a bunch of arum lilies that I bought from a pharmacy or chemist shop a few months ago, and had no idea what I was going to do with them. But I'd never seen them before, and they were, you know, smallish scale, so I grabbed them. Quite expensive at like almost $6 for a bunch of 8, but unusual. So I thought that would be perfect, so I popped a couple in there and popped in a rosebud, closed fabric rosebud from an old bouquet that a doll was holding. Came over to this corner, popped in 2 more fabric rosebuds, put in a lovely piece of bling here, which is a button, and an expensive button at that. I think it cost me almost $3 just for one button. These kind of things are hideously expensive in New Zealand, but very good quality. Not flimsy, it's an actual metal one and it's heavy, so that lovely sparkle it gives off. Then I got there's 3 here flowers, there's 2 up here as well, and they were off a bridal horseshoe, a brand new one. I found a whole pile of them in a op shop for $1 each. I don't know, obviously from a shop that had closed down or something. Very plain apart from these, and a bit of lace around them, so I bought them for the $1 each. Well, not all of them, I bought about 3 I think, or two maybe. And then I took the flowers off when I was looking for something to do, put in this corner, and for me it fitted perfectly. It's beautiful pearlized iridescent sheen and sprays of pearls coming off there. So, in that corner. Then I came down the bottom here, didn't know what to do, but I found this piece of crocheted lace like a collar. So it's a vintage collar, I think. Pretty sure of that. So this end is the point that would have been at the front, graduating up to the bit that would have gone around behind the neck on the dress. So obviously different lengths. So I put that in, and this may have been got in a recent swap with Sonia Steptoe from Australia, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I may have bought it from an op shop. But if I did get it from you, Sonia, thank you. It worked perfectly here. And then here I put the large flat back pearls, the same as I put up the side there, in each flower centre. So there's 3 of those. Then I came here and this is pretty sure it's a Prima. Came in a packet of 2 lace flowers, got them off Etsy, and the other one was a pale grey, which I didn't want to use because I put a grey at the top there. So both of them have got charms hanging from them, already made. So there you go, the pearls, sort of silver agate pearls and a leaf there. So I popped that in that corner there, and I was really pleased with the Wild Orchid Craft rose there. Then I come up to this part here, and I put in this beautiful grey organza flower, which picks up the grey here, bluey grey, and it's the same here. Beautiful, very dainty looking. It's all organza. It's got frosted stamen, silver grey stamen, and a little bit of bling, like diamante bling, right? Oops, it dropped it then, right in the middle there, but you may not pick that up. When I put it in, it laid flat, and it annoyed me, and I kept looking at it, and I hated it. Well, I didn't hate it, but I really disliked it. I didn't like it at all. Didn't give me the effect I wanted to. So I came in, I put a trim, which is quite wide, about that wide, It's got a flat bit on the bottom, but it's all gathered. It's a lace I've had since about 1990s for doll dressmaking, and there's only a scrap, so I put it in around there in a fan shape, and then I glue little pearls just regularly. They're full beaded pearls, not flatbacks. And then I started building up a cluster of flowers all the way around this beautiful grey organza one. Using the arum lilies, 3 of those spaced out, and then Wild Orchid Craft roses, the same as these ones down the side, and introducing the 3 of these white Wild Orchid Craft. I'm not sure what flower they are. So yeah, and there's one closed rosebud there to match the others down the other way, down the side here. And then I popped in a great big pearl. I mean, you can see the size of that pearl, it's huge. I got it off a necklace that I bought in a op shop about 4 weeks ago with black lace. It's just really big, beautiful, and I've got a whole pile of them, so woo, that's good fun. I often find big pearls like that. And then I trailed round some white string pearls just all over the place to match the pearls that I put around here as well. Then I came up to the sides and I trailed some pearls around here, just starting at the bottom, just serpentining. They go right up the back. There's some you probably can't see it, but it goes right up the back and over here. And I did the same on the other side, just serpentine them right the way up, like a snake. Right the way up there. Now, what did I do next? Oh yes, I was very frustrated because I wanted to put a wide frilled white lace all the way around just to frame it and edge it, you know, for the edging, make it look really sumptuous. And I didn't have enough lace, and the lace I wanted to use, I only had a piece that was sort of got 2 sides, and when it was fully gathered it probably would have only done 1 1/4 sides in actual fact. On my way up to Hawke's Bay to visit with my 8-week-old grandson on Saturday, it's now Monday morning, my husband wanted to stop off in a grungy old shop that sold yucky rusty old tools and goodness knows what else, and he wanted to have a poke around there for 5 minutes. So while he was doing that, I looked in the rest of the shop, which was selling second-hand china and other stuff, and I found a lace on a cardboard card, and this beautiful lace here, and there was 5 meters of it, and it was for New Zealand dollars, $2.70, so that was pretty cheap, that beautiful lace. And so when I was getting frustrated and couldn't find enough of the white lace that I wanted to put around here, I suddenly had this brilliant idea that I could put this lace, because she's holding the similar colour rose, and you know, we've got the deeper pink in here as well. So I gathered 3 meters of it up and glued it in all around here. Then it looked a bit stark. This is a Georgian colour, rose pink, the sage green and the greys. They're all Georgian colours that they used in their homes. But it looked stark. So then I used the lace that I didn't have enough of. I cut it in half lengthways because it was too wide for what I wanted here. Glued the edging to make a nice stiff edging so it wasn't floppy, and then put it in. And the pink one is scalloped, beautiful scallop all around it, and this is also scalloped, so that stands up around all the frills. I didn't put it at the bottom because I've already got this lovely lace collar bit here, so I put it around 3 edges, and for me that really fitted it nicely. It bridged the gap between this lovely beautiful dusky pink and the paler colours and the whites and the actual over around this actual piece. So it just bridged that gap, it joined them together. There wasn't that harsh break. Then I came in and round all this over top of the this antique gold braid. I put, not down the bottom again, but around the 3 sides I put the same braid that I'd used around here. So that's all the way around here, around the 3 sides, coming down to here. Just trying to think what else I did next. I'm sure I did heaps more. Oh yes, I wanted to connect this sort of dusky pink hair colour into the image, apart from this little, you know, rose that she's carrying and her nice little rosy lips. So I had a whole pile of lace that I got off Etsy, beautiful lace. I'd never used it, had it for about 3 months I think. So I cut, it's like applique pieces on crochet, it's lovely colour, so I cut off one, the leaves and the 2 flowers, then I stuck them on there. I didn't want to obliterate the bird cage because I wanted that in, but the top of it's been covered, but the rest of it's showing under there. And then I popped in 2 dusky pink metal sort of light, well they're not dusky pink, they're more sort of a richer dusky pink than this. Pop them in on top there, they're star shaped. Along the top here I put just a little simple piece of lace braid, which is made for inserting ribbons, and I put the flat back pearls there on that one up here to match the ones going down here. This is a white applique that I popped over to go over the edge there, and at the bottom here there's another applique, white applique, which I put a different kind of flat back pearl in there, but still in the white colour. Okay, up here to hang it from the wall, where am I? Have I got this upside down? No. I put a lovely shimmery organza gossamer ribbon, absolutely beautiful, and that's in the same pale grey that the flower and the background is. And then to tie that in, I came over here and popped it in this corner bit. I tasseled it, this bit here, and a lovely sort of you can see that's very 3D, it's sort of coming here and then goes right up, just beautiful, falls into a cascade. I mean I can lay it down flat if I want to, but so really I think that's that. Oh, I think I mentioned those, just a thing across there, those are burgundy or deep dusky pink pearl trim that I bought locally in a craft shop. I don't think there's much else to mention there. So that's it. This is I'll just fill in the time. There's about a minute left, so let's go over there. It's quite a large piece. I'd say it's probably about, with all the frill included, it's probably about 16 inches high by about 14 inches across. So quite a good sized piece. Dangly bits there, and then up there that nice little corner piece with its fanned out fabric and all its pearls and beautiful flower there, and the frills. You go right up here, and you've got your braid there. That's the corner up there. As I say, I didn't want to put in much fancy in that corner because I wanted the bird cage still to be showing in there on the paper. I'm not one of these people that likes to put things on and then cover them totally up.